So what exactly do college football players do between spring and fall practices? They actually have a schedule. I want to tell you about that. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Brilliant. The kids are on spring break. They are catching a breather. All of that energy they have exerted doing spring practices, they get to spend a little bit of time away from the university, go home and catch a breather. I figure this is a great time for us to learn a little bit more about these players in college football. So I got some more nuggets for you guys today. We about to get into that right now. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Give me the thumbs up, guys. Right here is my Amazon storefront where you can get your Coach Prime and Buff merch. If you see something, guys, say something. Say, Harry B, I saw this over there and I think you might like it. You can send that to my inbox on Twitter or on Instagram, or you can email me. Both information is right there on your screen. If you're going to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, that's at TLP Sports Club. If you're going to email me, that's going to be hot tips for tlpsports@gmail.com. That is all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. I'm going back to SB Nation. This story is being written by a unique figure in the college football circle. This story is written by Philip Kirken. If you're familiar with the college football circle, then you know this name, Philip Kirken. He actually played football at Auburn University in 2014. He's the guy that caught the winning touchdown from Cam Newton. But the story about him, it took a little darker turn. He wrote this story on April the 24th, 2014. This guy actually passed away like maybe about 2 months right after he wrote this article. He passed away in a car accident in Georgia where he grew up. So I was like, wow, his story is pretty unique. As I read on, people were saying that he was very helpful. He was a generous person. He's always helping out his community. His soul rest in power. So his family, the Kirkens, he's still helping our community even though he's not here with us anymore. And you guys are right. Thank you, Philip, for this story. Spring games are signaling the end of college football's first major offseason period. Fall camp doesn't start until August. Now what? Welcome all SEC tight end Phil Kirken to SB Nation to explain. This story was written in April 2014, and I believe he passed away in June of 2014. After spring ball ends in April or early May, most coaches around the country will give their players a break from the meetings, practices, and film study that occurred throughout the semester. Coaches realize that it is crucial for a student athlete to have time to study for exams, some of which could be cumulative over 30 plus chapters of a textbook. Most college coaches were former student athletes themselves and realize the struggles of finals week. All players are not just turned loose the rest of the semester though. Most head coaches will have mandatory study hall hours, during which players will meet with their tutors. Academic advisors across the country will be working their tails off and hounding student athletes over the course of finals week. 2 or 3 hours meetings with the academic staff are required daily by most academic support staffs. Even during finals week, most programs will require players to get a few workouts in per week during the rest of the semester. It is important that the players maintain the strength and conditioning that has been built up throughout the offseason so far. This final stretch to finish up finals can either be stressful or relaxing, depending on where your grades stand going in. Players who are flunking classes going into finals are most likely to be seen at the library with multiple cans of Red Bull and chewing gum pulling all-nighters. Everyone who went to college has been there. Once finals end and universities let out for summer break, players are awarded summer vacation. The length of your vacation time is determined by when exams ended and when your summer classes start. At some schools, it's only 7 to 10 days until players are expected to report for summer term. Other universities might not start summer term until the beginning of June, giving players 2 to 3 weeks off of school and football duties. This vacation time allows players to go back home and get away from football and school. By the end of spring semester, every player is burnt out on school and football. If a player tells you otherwise, then he is a big fat liar. The sliver of a break that players have before summer term starts back up is usually the longest break that they will get all year. From this statement right here, this is what led me to actually Google his name. He says, no, we do not get to travel abroad and backpack through Europe during our summers, but the average student doesn't get to score touchdowns in front of 100,000 people in the Iron Bowl. Europe will be around for a while, but football careers will fade. Although college football players' summer vacations are short, I promise you that they are much appreciated and enjoyed. In summer term, it's mandatory to take a minimum of 6 hours of classes in order to receive your scholarship check. I would try to take my hardest classes during summer to have them out of the way when the season starts during the fall. Summer is a great time to get your GPA up because 6 hours, 2 classes, credits allow you to really focus on that particular course instead of juggling around 5 to 6 courses courses like in a regular semester. Summer terms give players a chance to interact with normal students as well. Classes are much smaller and more personal. Classmates can get to know us as something aside from just football players. Campus is much quieter due to the lack of students taking summer courses. The best part of summer is that weekends are free time. You can get a chance to do what you want, which most of the time is sleep until the afternoon. Coaches realize how important summer is too. In the busy profession of college football, coaches rarely get a chance to take a family vacation. It is the rare time where coaches get a week or two to get away from campus and truly enjoy some family time. Coaches also realize that summer is a time to build but not overwork players' bodies leading into fall camp. They expect their players to bust their tails, but they have to be smart about it so that players are at their peak physical level leading into the first Saturday night in September. The week leading up to the first official day of fall camp is usually a dead week for most college programs due to summer finals and a need for overall rest. Depending on your final schedule, a player might be able to get back to his hometown or take a quick trip somewhere. Most go home though, because it is the last chance they will have to do so until the season ends. It really is crucial for players to be able to enjoy and relax during this post-spring practice months before August. It is a great time to focus on school and workouts without having to be on edge the whole semester. It gave me a chance to relax and get my mind right, because before you know it, it will be August, and then it's back to the grind, getting ready to kick off the season. So here's the basic off-season calendar for college football and college football players. I found this to be quite interesting. December and January, the season ends. January 1st or January 2nd, like the beginning of January, you play that national championship game. You know how it went. TCU got their spanked. So January and February, just like we've just seen, you have winter conditioning and then you have spring classes. So March and April, you're going to have spring camp and then you're going to have finals. You all know that on the 22nd, ESPN is going to be airing that game, the finale of the spring practices. We're going to have that game on the 22nd. So March and April, they're having finals. This is the time where they're going to be taking their finals. If you are a student who's struggling just a little bit, you're going to be getting that staff hounding you and making sure that you are meeting all of the requirements. Because one thing we have to understand, my guy Chris at Alpine Garage, he made a video talking about the university is not an Ivy League, but their coursework and their curriculum, they're more like a public Ivy League. It's a very difficult school as far as education is concerned. They got very high standards when it comes to education. So I can only imagine there's going to be a few students that's going to have some mandatory study hall where the tutor's going to have to come over there and try to get them to get their grades up. Because this is not no pushover university. For them, it's education first. They had to relax some of these rules that they have for recruiting to let some of these kids get into that transfer portal. There's a lot of smart kids on the team, but we know not everybody is that smart. Because if you're talking about a university that has the curriculum of an Ivy League school, and these are football players, they're taking like regular classes. Some of these kids are trying to find the easiest classes that they can take. The coursework is definitely not a pushover coursework. If you don't got the grades, if you don't meet the standards, you're getting kicked off the team. Don't pass go, don't collect 200 for sure. May and July, there are summer workouts, and then we have summer classes. Early August, we have fall camp, and then the fall classes start. From August to December, the season starts, and then you have fall classes. That's when we're going to have that football period, and then obviously everything kind of starts over. Thank God for the life of Philip Lutz. Even though he's no longer with us physically, he is still serving his college football community with that beautiful article, giving us an insight into the life of a college football player. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Harry B. That was the Liberian Perspective, TLP Sports Club.